I never thought I'd be the kind of man who would walk out on his marriage without a fight. But that night, when she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "There are plenty of men who want me," something inside me broke. It wasn't just the words, it was the way she delivered them. Cold, detached, like she was testing me, daring me to care. The weight of those words crushed everything I thought we had built together. And instead of trying to convince her otherwise or begging her to stay, I stood up and walked out. I let her go. I let those men have her. What happened afterward changed everything for me. We had been together for 7 years, married for 5. Like any couple, we had our share of disagreements and rough patches. But I believe we were strong enough to make it. I believe we belonged to each other. I was wrong. The warning signs had been there for months. Subtle at first. She started coming home late. "Work," she said. Her phone, once left anywhere, suddenly became a guarded secret. She silenced it whenever I was around. New names appeared in her messages. Laughter I wasn't part of. I confronted her a few times, but she dodged the questions, always changing the subject. And I, desperate to believe, convinced myself it was just a temporary rift. That hope, false hope, kept me blind to the truth standing in front of me. One evening, after a draining day, I came home earlier than usual. I wanted to surprise her, remind her I cared, remind her I was still here. But when I stepped through the door, the house was still, unnervingly quiet. No music, no television, no trace of her. I called her name, but the silence pressed back. Then I saw the note on the kitchen table. Her handwriting. Her words. Words that cut through me like glass. "I'm not the woman you think I am. There are plenty of men after me, and I'm tired of waiting for you." I read it again and again, my hands shaking, my chest tight, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might explode. Rage, grief, disbelief. Everything collided at once. But more than anything, I felt the hollow ache of loss. The next day, I demanded the truth. I asked her directly if she was seeing someone else. She didn't flinch, didn't even try to deny it. Instead, she gave me a cold, almost triumphant stare and said, "There are plenty of men chasing me. Why should I wait for someone who doesn't see me?" That was it. The moment I knew, no matter what I said, no matter what I did, I couldn't fight for a woman who had already left me in her heart. I could have begged. I could have pleaded. But it would have been pointless. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is turn around and walk away. So that's exactly what I did. I stopped calling. I stopped texting. I stopped waiting for her to come back. I let her go, along with the men she thought were worth more than what we had. Friends told me I was making a mistake. They said I should fight harder. But I knew better. Fighting for someone who doesn't want to be fought for is like trying to win a battle you've already lost. The weeks that followed were brutal. I moved through each day in a haze, haunted by memories of who we used to be. Every smile, every promise replayed in my mind like a cruel reminder. But in the middle of all that pain, I found something I didn't expect: clarity. I started putting myself first again. I reconnected with friends I had lost touch with. I picked up hobbies I had abandoned. I began exercising, eating better, and even took a solo trip to clear my thoughts. Each little step rebuilt the man I had lost along the way. Slowly, piece by piece, I found myself again. Then one day, I heard from a mutual friend that her new life wasn't as glamorous as she had imagined. The attention she sought turned out to be shallow. The men she thought would fulfill her left her empty. She was lonelier than ever. I didn't pity her. I didn't feel vindicated either. What I felt was peace. Peace knowing I had walked away from a life that would have drained me dry. I was free. Time passed. I met new people, built new bonds, and learned to love myself without needing someone else's validation. I didn't hate her for leaving, though I wished it hadn't ended the way it did. But I understood. Sometimes letting go is the truest form of love. Love for yourself. Her words, "There are plenty of men chasing me," were her way of saying she was finished. And I respected that. But I respected myself more. I refused to beg for someone who no longer wanted to stay. Walking away wasn't weakness. It was strength. It was me choosing dignity over desperation, peace over pain. This isn't a story of revenge or bitterness. It's a story of loss, acceptance, and transformation. If you're going through something similar, remember this. The bravest thing you can do is walk away from someone who no longer values you. Because at the end of the day, your happiness, your peace, and your self-worth matter more than holding on to someone who's already gone.